Riders, welcome back.
We've got some exciting news.
The Ride officially has a sponsor! Woo! We have a sponsor.
A sponsor. A full-blown sponsor.
Oh my God, that's wild.
I'm so proud of
That
us.
is wild.
I'm so proud.
We've got a sponsor. This is our third episode. Oh my God.
We are so proud to be welcoming on GROUNDUP as the official sponsor of the Ride podcast for the rest of season 1.
Yeah, and not only that, we're here in GROUNDUP's brand new Braddon studio in Canberra. We are literally in front of us, we're looking at Pilates machines and it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's really a whole damn vibe. It's honestly stunning, and
it is.
We are just so excited to be partnering with GROUNDUP. We just feel like they are so aligned with us, to our values, to our visions, and just our journey, where we want to take us and ourselves and you guys. And it's just all about connection, community, and rising together. And we really just share those values, and we have literally manifested this partnership.
Crazy. Manifested it. Since before we even started the podcast, we wanted to look forward and think about who do we want to collab with along the journey. And it's crazy, but it's not, because it's something that we knew was,
I think so.
We have been manifesting and looking forward to, and GROUNDUP, the connections that you've made, Kirst, with GROUNDUP made it possible. And it's just, it's amazing to see people see our vision as well, especially so early on when we are like coming into
early on, like it's just
3
the beginning.
episodes deep. We appreciate them for seeing us and our vision, and we also appreciate you guys as well for being here along this journey with us. Yeah, already. Thank you for the love across socials and in person when we're running into people. Thank you so much. It honestly fills our cup and our hearts with so much love. And you guys are a big part of the reason that we're doing this and putting this special space out into the world.
Yeah. So today's episode, it's going to be a juicy one. It's going to be a moment where we talk about the quiet work, and it's what needs to be spoken about more and not be so taboo. We're really just going to go there. It's going to be a really big wave. So grab a cuppa or a cocktail and come on this ride with us.
Yes, following on from episode 2, we, like I said, we're going even deeper into our healing journeys to share that with you guys and really talk about the ways that we're breaking cycles and unlearning what we were told was the norm, and starting over again, softer, freer, and just more conscious, especially for our babies. That's so important to us. And in this episode, we're going to be delving into the inner ride, how we're healing our inner child. And we just want to take a closer look at how we're nurturing our inner child and how we're learning the things that are and the things that aren't serving us anymore, and how we're choosing to grow. Also, we're going to chat about the tricky hurdles along the way, the rides up and down, the waves that are crashing on top of our heads that we're going to have to navigate, and also just how we've gone about navigating those things as well. We're also going to unpack some generational patterns, some tough conversations with family, which we've already briefly touched on, life-changing decisions, forgiveness, growth, and what it means to break cycles, not only for us, but the ones coming after us. If you've ever felt like you're carrying something that wasn't meant for you, that you're parenting yourself while being a parent, this one is for you.
Yeah, that's a big one. Well, let's set the scene then, T, and share with our listeners what we would describe the term inner child to be. And I'm happy to go first if you want. And for me, the inner child refers to that younger version of yourself, and it's that one that just still lives inside you, and she holds your wonder and your wounds and your joy and your unmet needs. And for me, I realized that she really needed love, especially in my teenage years. As you heard in episode 2, I used to get super triggered, and she just needed so much love. And we'll get into that. But I think in this description, I also wanted to mention, as an Aboriginal woman, this journey is layered.
Yeah.
Our people
Yeah.
have just had to carry so much culturally and historically. Stories of disconnection from our land and our family ties and culture and language. Yeah. The list goes on with that. And sometimes healing our inner child means healing a whole line of people who didn't get the chance. Yeah, that really sits with me, and I'm sure you can resonate with a lot of that, T.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Just to add to everything that you've said, I just think that our inner child is really the source of our creativity, our spontaneity, and our authenticity. I really see her as the purest version of ourselves, and she really influences the way that we see the world and the way that we trust others and form relationships and respond to conflict and care and show up for ourselves.
Big time.
I think it's really important to remember that she's never too far from us. She's often just buried under unhealed pain and the expectations of things that we have to carry.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes what we do carry, it isn't ours. It was handed down, and maybe with love or maybe with pain, but it's now in our hands. And by that I mean unconsciously or consciously. And there are patterns we inherit without realizing. For example, the silence or operating in survival mode.
Yeah.
Avoiding conflict, being overly strong, avoidance, people pleasing, anger, or even down to the point of alcohol abuse and along those lines. These patterns we've become familiar with in our family line, and in my life I saw where certain behaviours were handed down, and not out of harm, but I think out of habit.
Yeah.
And it was in my mid-20s that I got to a point in my life where I was just like, you know what, this ends with me. And an example actually that comes to mind when I do say that is, I remember this time T and I were travelling back out in country, home to Garuga, and instead of drinking and partying with everyone, as we always commonly did, to connect and...
Going back around Christmas and Easter and birthdays, and that's just what...
that's just what we would do. It was the norm. And when we had family gatherings, there was always alcohol around or involved. And we just came to the realization that when we got the chance to go on country, it was more about spending quality time with our elders, with our beautiful Nan and Pop, above everything else. And instead of grabbing alcohol on our trip out there, we chose not to. And I remember this time and holiday just so clearly, because it was such a beautiful moment where we got to sit around the table and just spend so much time with Nan and Pop, and bless, like we've said, our beautiful Nan has passed away, and just the fact that we got to do that and just cherish those beautiful moments is truly special. And they loved it as well. Like, they loved telling us about growing up and like their childhood and just sharing yarns. And what also sits with me and just really warms my heart is that my baby had got to experience that, and it still does. She was there, and she, although maybe not understands at her age of 2, but she's around the conversation and just hearing the joy that just sits in and amongst that. And I would just always hold that close to my heart and really cherish it.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that trip so clearly as well, and it's one that I'll always cherish. For us making that decision, because we called each other up and had a phone conversation about it. It wasn't one day we just didn't take any out there. We consciously made the decision of, hey, let's really go out here and spend some time with Nan and Pop. And also let them know that we really value the time that we get to spend with them, and we don't just sort of come home to party. Yes, we do come back and want to be with our family and be with everyone and definitely celebrate our lives and whatever occasion we've got going on.
Yeah.
But the big reason that we all go home, all of us, all of our family, is because our Nan and Pop are back in Garuga. That's the reason that we go home, and that trip, it was just so special because, like you said, we just sat around and laughed and probably cried, and Nan and Pop would tell us about their upbringings and all the funny stories, funny things our dad and his brothers used to do. And I remember we took Pop as well for a drive around in his Bronco. Has he got a Bronco? I don't know. It's an old truck anyways. I'm pretty sure it is.
Some kind of ute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I have to find the photo. I'll put the photo up.
Put it up.
But we took him around driving in that, because he was showing us old albums of what it used to look like back in the day. I said, hey, can you take us around and show us all those old spots, where the picture theatre was, where the candy bar was, old petrol station. So I went around and took photos while he was telling us these yarns. And we just found out more about him.
Yeah, that we would have never knew. I would have never knew that Nen lived in a tin shack on the riverbank. Like it was just...
And where Pop literally grew up. There's a cactus there now, and every time I see it, I'm like, oh my God, there would have been so many memories in place of where that cactus is. And just knowing all those things is really special. And I think Kirsten and I aren't saying we're martyrs for making this decision.
Yeah, definitely
But it's just something that sat really right with us at the time. And I guess just following on from that as well, a conscious decision that Bear's dad and I made when she was sort of born, or even before that, was not having them around alcohol or drunk behaviour. That was really important for us and a real conscious decision that we made. And that's something that Kirsten and I witnessed a lot of arguments and fights growing up that was the result of intoxication. And I just remember at the time when these fights would break out or arguments, like I was just so scared. I just remember feeling so unsafe and scared. And while nothing like too hectic happened, you just didn't know. You just, the uncertainty around that, and just, you know, being a child, just feeling scared. And I think that's a fear that I never wanted to pass down to my kids, and situations I never wanted to put them in to make them feel unsafe.
Yeah. And I've never actually asked Mum this, but our mum, she chooses not to drink. And she hasn't for some time. And it might even be because
she's witnessed over a time,
Well, but I was going to say how sick she does get when she literally has 2 pineapple cruises, bless her soul.
2 pineapple cruises.
But that could have played a part in it too, like of her growing up and just... I think it's
but also wanting to be maybe a safe person for us in that place.
And I always did feel really safe in those moments. She would be the person I would come back to. But
yes.
Yeah, drinking's just such a big culture in Australia, especially, and just in society. Like, it's just...
Yeah, and we're not saying that we don't like to have
don't get me wrong.
I like an espresso martini. I like a frozen margarita from time to time.
Here there. Oh,
actually, I haven't had one in so long, obviously, because we're breastfeeding.
You should have had one now. But don't get us wrong. And like T said, we definitely don't think we're this high almighty person. But this is just a decision that we chose, and we're really happy to make that decision. Breaking the patterns, it isn't easy. It's... can be really confronting, and when you're changing up the norm and saying no, or choosing therapy, or asking for help, or just resting your body, when you're tired, it can be hard, and you can feel guilty and resistant, because sometimes your healing can make others feel uncomfortable, especially family members, and because healing looks like rebellion when you were raised in survival mode. And prior to having babies, I didn't want my future babies, as I've mentioned, to carry any of what they didn't have to, and, you know, what I could control on that. But there is an emotional weight and an empowerment that comes with this realization. And there is, however, a bigger purpose that we're not just healing ourselves, we're healing forward and for the next generation to come. And actually that sparks, it's coming up to NAIDOC week, where the theme is actually all about our future babies, like our future generations. And I just look at Ailura and I just want to change that so much for her and do my part in what I can so she can live a better life and just be at peace. And I think even within myself, like when you're at peace, believe me, it's so worth it.
Oh my God, it is.
It really is.
It certainly is. And I don't feel like it's due to a lack of strength why people don't break these patterns, but rather sort of a mix of deep rooted fears and conditioning and survival instincts. And I feel like each of us know within us when something is not sitting right, when your inner child is screaming, just screaming from the inside, telling you, setting off the alarm bells. Hello, attention over here, Earth to Tanisha, please, please, please listen to me. When I've become aware of something needing to change, I'm trying to be different moving forward with this, but it's literally eaten me up inside before I've taken the steps to change it. And I don't feel quite ready to go into it too much on the podcast just yet, but I feel like I am in the process right now of breaking another generational pattern. I recently separated from my husband. While I want absolutely nothing but the best for him, and we're really trying to support each other through this transition, the decision was really rooted in self-worth and me choosing myself, emotional clarity, and just the refusal to model an unhealthy relationship for our kids. I'm no longer choosing to settle for the things that aren't meeting my needs and my wants. I don't feel like it's something that I'm running from the pain either. I feel like I'm really trying to sit in this and reflect and explore my inner child and try to understand where this truly stems from and how I guess I allowed myself to get in this situation. Yeah,
I think that's really big and brave of you, sis, to share what is alive and going on for you at the moment. And I just want to take a moment to thank you for doing that, because our intentions with this podcast were to always be open and transparent with our listeners. I just think that's really big of you for just staying true to who you are and what's going on. And it is really vulnerable to be sharing stuff like this. But yeah, I just admire you for your courageousness. Is that a word?
it is now. My courageousness. No, yeah, I think it is. But no, and that's the thing, I didn't know if I wanted to bring it into this episode. But it's crazy how much it really does align. And I feel that's the other thing. I feel like we've only had 2 episodes, and the first one was an intro to the podcast and the second one was our higher self. But I just don't think I've been showing up as my truest self in those episodes. And I really want to do that for us, for our babies who one day are going to watch this back, and for you guys as well, for me to be preaching all this stuff about being your higher self. And not that I was trying to preach that I was my higher self. I was pretty much saying how far from it I was. Or I am, but I really want to show up here as my authentic self and be real with what's going on in my life.
What unhealed part of your inner child do you think led you to that relationship and staying in it?
Yeah. I really think that it was the part of me that still believed I had to shrink myself to earn love, I would say. And, as a child, I was loud, I was expressive, I was... Energy.
More passion.
I was full of life. I was often told to tone it down or be quieter or stop being too much.
That just reminded me. Just reminded me of a song. Never too much, never too much, never too much. We're gonna play that. But that is so true. Not like playing small and shrinking yourself.
I think somehow I really did internalize that message that probably my full self wasn't lovable, and that being accepted meant probably being more contained and more agreeable and less bold. And I just feel like that unhealed part of me, that little girl who just wanted to be loved for who she was, carried that into adulthood and into relationships and into this one. So I really need to put my hand up for that as well. I think that I stayed because a part of me hoped that if I could just be the person that I thought someone wanted me to be, that I would finally feel safe, seen and chosen. And
you shouldn't have to change yourself for someone.
Absolutely.
Compromise, but fully change yourself,
I definitely agree, and I'm just not feeling like myself at the moment, and I think a lot of the decision was made around Bear and me really asking myself if this is the version that I wanted her to meet, and I think the answer was just really clear, that it was no, this isn't the woman, this isn't the mother that I want Bear to get to know. So I guess when I just thought about Bear and truly thought about what my needs and wants are, the answer was pretty clear. When I do think about sport as well and really reflect on that time in my life, I feel like I was also really trying to always prove something. I felt like my worth was really tied to the way that I performed and how much I gave or how strong I appeared. Also during my sport days, I feel like I really thrived off external validation, especially from our parents. When I knew mum and dad were proud of me and how I would play, that would sort of feed the ego, which is a tendency that certainly hasn't served me in my adult years. That people-pleasing trait is something I'm really trying to work on, guys. I'm working on it. And among other things, I think that made me neglect my needs and my wants, and as a result, lose myself in this relationship. So I am taking ownership of my part in this and how I let it get to this point. Because I didn't work through this stuff or even acknowledge it within myself early on, before I come into this relationship, and really, I wasn't really clear in terms of what my needs and my wants were. And I think that's extremely important when you're making these decisions and commitments in your life.
Yeah.
Leaving this relationship has really been a way of telling my inner child that you don't have to earn love anymore, that you just need to be you, and that's more than enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. Well, let's talk about shame then, because I feel like, you know, coming off the back of that, it is a big part that we don't say out loud, and the shame and guilt that healing brings up of naming wounds, and especially when it does involve people that we love. There's this pressure to stay grateful or to stay quiet or not stir the pot. But in my experience, I've learned that you can honour your past and still choose a different future.
Yes.
And you can love your family and still draw a boundary. And moving forward on your journey, it's okay to leave someone behind. It's here where you can inspire them and for them to become aware and grow by your actions. That doesn't make you ungrateful, it just makes you honest. And I've come to find that the shame fades when you realise the truth really does set you free.
Absolutely. And I think the moment that I chose to leave my relationship, it wasn't so much about an absence of love, but more the beginning of self-love. And that came with a wave of grief, guilt, and shame.
Yeah.
It really did. And while leaving has really felt like clarity and freedom in so many respects, at times it has a little bit felt like failure. You know, I have heard those whispers of, am I a quitter? Did I give up too soon? And it really made me explore the root of that guilt and shame as I continued to sort of ask myself, where did I learn that staying meant strength and leaving meant weakness? How did I internalize the belief that being a good partner means sacrificing yourself? And who taught me that my pain must be swallowed for the sake of appearances or family? Honestly, when I finally listened to my inner child, she spoke louder than all of those whispers that were trying to instill shame and guilt. As a mother, like I said, she begged me to not let Bear inherit the same blueprint. She asked me again, like I said, if I wanted Bear to meet this version of her mother or a watered down one. She told me, you need to stop fighting for crumbs of love, babe. And that I was already worthy of the kind of love that I truly desire, of softness and peace and unwavering support and joy without proving or performing. She knew that this choice, it wasn't made out of destruction, but rather redirection. I feel like my inner child has just been celebrating me on the inside. For me, just having the strength to make this really, really tough decision of walking away.
Yeah, and just being so proud of her. And I know I've definitely felt that of you, T, and I think during this hard time in your life, I have witnessed a lot of strength of you just looking past your shame and your guilt and focusing on your inner child and listening to what your intuition is telling you. And I think that is the right way forward. And like you've said, it's for you, it's for Bear. And at the end of the day, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah. And how about you? Let's talk about you for a second. What do you feel like you've enough about me. Jeez. It's enough for the whole season. What have you walked away from that's no longer served you?
It was definitely the limiting beliefs that I did share in episode 2, and around just that lack of confidence within myself and that I used to have. And I experienced this mainly during my younger and teenage years, and that wasn't helped by experiencing infidelity in a high school 5-year too long relationship. And then comparison, I suppose, as I mentioned with you, T, growing up and just experiencing that throughout our childhood. I think another limiting belief was that I thought I had to carry it all alone, and I'm sure my big sissies, the listeners, will resonate and can relate to this. Those who did have to or chose to shelter things for their younger siblings, I think that independence and strength were my survival tools growing up. But adulthood and motherhood have probably shown me that vulnerability and community and asking for help are the real strengths, and that's definitely where they lie, I believe. And I also had to realise and release a limiting belief of if I don't have control of everything, it will all fall apart. I just had to let go of that. Like, I found that control, it was my safety net, but now I'm learning that trusting the process, and that can really bring you so much peace, and rather than just gripping every outcome. And I think Joseph has played a massive role in just helping me identify this and work through this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I learned in my 20s that I didn't want to say yes to everything either. If you know me, if it's not a full body, energetic yes, it's a no for me. And that can come pretty easy because I'm like, okay, no, I'm too tired, I'm not doing anything.
I'm having a nap.
I'd rather have a nap. No, but just simply because if I felt like I said yes, like, and fell into that people pleaser mentality, I would be showing up not me and not how the universe wants me to show up and operate.
Don't do it, ladies. Don't do it. From a people pleaser, do not do it.
But yeah, like I said, in the younger years, I think that people pleaser did play out within our household anyway. And I didn't want to go down that path because I saw what cost it would come at, whether that was health implications or being burnt out, like so many of us can feel. There has been a lot of unlearning, and that means I now know better, so I can do better.
Yep.
And I think it's when we unlearn and we make space, and spaces for new ways, spaces of softness, and spaces to raise our kids who don't have to heal from the way they were loved. That is just massive to me.
Say it again.
Yeah, like honestly, spaces for your kids so they don't have to heal from the way that they were loved. That is so big.
I love that. Yeah,
that is just so big. And it can be a process. It's literally daily work.
That's it.
But again, it's super freeing, and it's just healing. And doing the work isn't just a concept. It has to be a practice, I believe. And it can help you, like it helped me, reclaim my boundaries, worthiness, nervous system, inner voice, and intuition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I've allowed things to literally fall apart so I could come back together and figure out what does truly serve me. The thing I've done recently is turn inwards and really ask myself, who is the real Tanisha, and what do I dream of, and what does freedom look like to me? And what am I willing to accept and tolerate? And what am I just not anymore?
Right.
What is moving me towards my higher self, and what's really holding me back from getting to her? In doing this, I feel like I really have let my inner child's voice rise louder than the expectations. And like I said, louder than the shame and louder than the guilt.
And speaking of resetting our nervous systems, like I'd mentioned, I think it was around the time of having a hard convo with mum and dad, where you listeners will recall hearing a bit about that in episode 2. But T, do you remember when we actually went to a private beach and we decided to do this together and go out to the ocean and just release all our emotions by screaming at the top of our lungs? into the ocean.
Yeah, it was actually amazing. It was a beautiful day. Yeah, this private,
Secluded little area in Newcastle Beach.
we walked around the rocks to get there.
Yeah.
And Joe was there with us too.
He
Wasn't it you, me, and Joe?
Actually, I think. And bless
So
his
you guys
heart.
are like, and he's like laughing. Nah, he was super supportive. Super supportive with us.
But
there.
then also thinking like, what the hell are these?
These girls are crazy.
I'm just gonna support my life and let it be.
He's amazing.
But no, he might have even had Zalu and he like walked Zalu down the beach or something. And then this was like before babies, mind you.
Yeah, this was a while. This was
like,
ages ago in Newcastle.
a few years back.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was freeing. It was amazing. We need to do it again. I
we
need to do it again soon.
Well, it's kind of like that practice of like screaming into a pillow, but instead we chose to have the beautiful privileged opportunity to go to a beach and just like scream at the top of our lungs, and we just held hands and the tears just started flowing when we did do this.
Super emotional.
Yeah, it was, but it also just was a way of like cleansing and letting go of what no longer served us, and it was super powerful and just helped us release built up tension and releasing the physical tension. It actually, probably like the analogy of when you shake a Coke bottle and you finally let the pressure out. I feel like that's just what it was for me. Just releasing. If you could see us right now, which is so funny.
I just hit a pot plant.
But it also was a safe outlet and a way of expressing our emotions without hurting ourselves, without hurting others. There wasn't yelling at someone else that you love or not bottling it up till you literally explode.
That's it.
It was just you, your voice at a beach. So honestly, highly recommend it.
Highly. Yeah, go do it.
Yeah. I actually have read though that screaming really does simulate your sympathetic nervous system.
I probably should do this soon. I haven't done this just yet.
Yes, this would be a really good time for you to do this.
I'm going to go back to Kirsten's place and scream in some pillows.
But then once it comes out, you usually feel a drop into a calmer state. And that's your rest and your digest, and it's where it helps your body regulate again.
I love that. Yeah, try it out, riders. If you're just feeling like a shaken up Coke bottle, and you feel like you're about to explode, if you're by a beach, go there, scream your lungs out.
Yeah.
Or do it into a pillow and just let us know.
Yeah, let us know how it felt, honestly.
Please.
Let us know the feeling, because it honestly helped us come back and just take control and decide, this is how I'm going to be releasing this. I'm not numbing, I'm not avoiding, I'm just letting it out. And that alone just felt super empowering, and to be honest, it just felt damn good. I was like, there was no overthinking, there was no trying to fix anything. It was just real, it was raw, like we had tears rolling down our face. It was just this beautiful human release that is completely okay.
Yeah, so I think it was just, it was really nice. But how else would you say that you heal through moving your body? What's some other ways?
Yeah, I love that question, because I think our bodies do carry what our minds forget at times, and sometimes your body does remember what our minds has pushed down.
Yeah.
And I used to experience headaches, fatigue all the bloody time, and having tight traps and shoulders, or a clenched jaw. Like, oh my God, you need to look at that.
I have terrible jaw. I don't know if you can hear any of the clicking. You wouldn't be able to now.
But yeah, a constant sense of just carrying weight and needing to be on alert. And I've just found healing through different ways of heading back home onto country and just walking barefoot and connecting back to that place and to just being surrounded by my people, and also through movement as well. And shout out to GROUNDUP.
Because they don't do this in Pilates, but
but honestly, like, just moving my body just gets me going. Hey, like, it's just like a Pilates session or a rumble boxing session, and just like smashing it out on the bags, or also dancing around my home with my daughter, and like, oh my God, at the moment she's loving Frozen.
She does.
She's
loves it.
Her first year, never watched TV, was not allowed. We were very, very strict. Probably first maybe even up until she was
Recently.
this year actually. We only just started letting her watch some movies. And Moana, oh my God, she was Moana obsessed. But now it's Frozen.
Frozen.
And she literally...
So birthday 3 is going to be Frozen.
Yeah, probably. And she literally just screams at the top of her beautiful little lungs and she's like, let it go, let it go.
She does.
But,
She's the
and
best.
I love, it just reminds me, like, honestly, I've said this before, but our kids teach us so much.
Yes.
And like, just watching her, I'm like, thank you, Bubba, for just reminding me to just, like,
Let it
remove
go.
the shame and let it go and
I
sing
love
your
it.
heart out
Yep.
like no one's watching.
Top of
Or
your
if they are
lungs.
watching, be you,
Yeah,
do you,
keep
boo.
going,
Keep
babe.
going.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, just shaking all that, like, because she's also, I mean, I'm biased, I'm her mum, but like she's also this fabulous little dancer.
She
so
can
she can
dance.
move. When she hears a rhythm or a beat, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna get up, I'll show you how she does it. But like when she hears a beat, like she got the shoulder going.
She can actually, she busts down, my baby.
And it's just, yeah, so amazing to just sing and move and dance and just let that negative energy go. Yeah, and I just love doing it with her. And like I said, it's just such a beautiful reminder. And we do this together and we try and get Dad in on it sometimes, which he does. And he encourages her actually. We just got a JBL speaker and some mics.
Oh my God. We'll put the video up. Watch this. Here's the video.
She grabs the mics and like screams, starts singing
She's so
at the top
funny.
of her lungs. But
Let's party!
yeah, she
is
loves
what
that
it
button
says
too.
when the speaker's
Oh
turned
my
on.
God. Oh, let's party. But yeah, coming back, remembering these all aren't just reactions, they're releases. And I find it super important to move stagnant energy out of our bodies. That's my way, but I suppose what are your ways, sis, on how you choose to heal and move through?
Yeah, well, what you sort of said just before about going back to country, physically being back on country, that like hit a nerve. And when I do think about being back at home in Gaduga is that is medicine. That is just so much medicine. And when I was standing on the edge of one of the toughest decisions of my life, do I keep fighting for this marriage or is it time to let go? I didn't find the answers in books or on a podcast or late night overthinking. I found it being back on country and in Gaduga. And Bear's dad actually allowed me the time and space to go back on country to really be with my family and think through this decision, which I really appreciate. It ended up that trip was more than just space, that it was really returning to parts of myself that I'd forgotten about, and the noise and the pressure of just trying to hold everything together. Kirsten and I lost our nan at the start of the year, and during that trip, I felt her presence so much while I was out there. I felt like she wrapped me like a warm blanket. And I just felt so held in my roots out there. Mum and Dad were also out there just to support me and to look after Bear when I just needed some time to think or cry or breathe even. One of my aunties, Auntie Honey, shout out to you. Thank you so much for your presence and the way you held me out there. She made me all of our favourite childhood foods like Nan and Pop's chop soup. She baked scones from scratch. She made me custard from scratch. Oh my God, there was just so many things. And I just, my body felt so nourished, and everyone out there being back on country, the precious time that I also got to spend with my pop, it just fed my spirit. It honestly did. And they really reminded me of who I was again before the world told me who to be. I am really appreciative that I was really given that time to slow down and not only think, but just feel as well, which was so precious. And I left Gaduga with not only my decision, but with an inner peace that I haven't felt in a really long time. Because that decision, it wasn't made out of fear, it was made out of love. And love for myself and love for Bear. And I feel like as Aboriginal people, we're just so fortunate that we have our culture to really come back to, and that be our compass and love and medicine for us.
Yeah, I completely agree. It really is our medicine. And I think that's actually one of our big superpowers is exactly that. And reconnecting to culture has been a big part for me in my healing journey. And there's something just powerful of knowing you come from strength, from songlines, from matriarchs and warriors. And sometimes culture does what therapy can't, and it anchors you. It reminds you exactly who you are and where you come from.
Yes.
And sometimes healing doesn't come in a journal, like you said, of where you were finding your healing. It comes in a story or a song or a ceremony or a language that your spirit just remembers.
Yeah.
And growing up, and still to this day, T, we were so lucky to be able to spend so much time with our elders. And our beautiful Nana Pop, like I said, the fact that Ailua has just got to spend so much time being with them, being in their presence, telling her stories and letting her hear them was just super special for me, especially to see and heal parts of my inner child in ways. I just feel like it was like a full circle moment. And I do dream of the day that my baby does grow up and she's super proud and connected and free to both her beautiful cultures, as she is Māori as well, and through her daddy's side. I feel like she already is this strong, black, independent woman.
She
you can just see it. The way she operates.
That's it, biggest woman.
But yeah, because when Joe and I remember our own lineage, we walk with strength. And when her and our future babies grow up, proud of who they are and where they come from, I think that is true legacy to me.
Yep.
Like,
I love that so much.
And to add on the back of that conversation, I think as part of our healing journey comes forgiveness too.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been a part that slowly had to come for me, but I now definitely understand it. And I think forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. But forgiveness for me has been more about freeing myself than excusing others. And I think,
That's powerful.
Yeah, like there were grudges and grudges and grudges that I would just hold. I just took back that power of, I just need to free myself from that and take the power back. And growth isn't always graceful. Sometimes it looks like grief, grieving the childhood that you deserved or grieving the parent you hoped someone would be, grieving the version of you who held it all together. But the beauty is we get to choose again. And that actually reminds me of a beautiful seminar that we went to with Gabby Bernstein, I think her name is.
Yes, with Mum.
Yes, with Mum. And that was a beautiful experience to do that together. But
Yeah, it was.
yeah, her message I remember so clearly was just like, you have the opportunity to choose again. Like, make a decision, you can choose again to make another decision and take you on your path. And yeah, she has a great book, so look that up. But yeah, I just had to remind myself that I get to choose how I feel from here, which again is taking my power back.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think the other part of that too is forgiveness for yourself. And that's something that I'm navigating at the moment. As Kirst said, forgiveness doesn't mean saying it's okay. It means saying, you know, I'm done carrying what was never mine. And yeah, recently I've really just been trying to forgive myself for not being so incredibly clear on my needs and wants and having them as real non-negotiables when I came into relationships, any of them. I've forgiven myself for ignoring red flags early on and probably not leaving sooner. And also losing parts of myself throughout my relationship. I feel like healing and growth for me has really looked like making decisions out of my own best interest, really putting myself first for once, not being persuaded by others. I think throughout this whole process, I really not once have asked anyone for any advice around my decision and what others think that I should be doing. I've really sat with my thoughts and come to this decision on my own which has been so incredibly empowering for me.
That's massive.
And because I feel like I had so much clarity in it. But I think that has been a big one of not being sort of persuaded by others. And not that anyone's tried to persuade me into anything that's been there supporting me. Everyone's just standing by me, really. Family, friends, shout out to everyone who's been by my side during this time in my life. I love you, I appreciate you. It means more than any of you will ever truly know. And that's the other thing. Thank you for not trying to put your thoughts and opinions onto me, but just holding space for me to just feel how I am in the moment. I think another thing that I'm trying to forgive myself for is just not judging myself for probably the way I have judged myself. And I think healing and growth for me also looks like truly believing that I am capable of attracting the love that I truly desire, and knowing that having 2 healthy homes is so much better than having a toxic one for our babies. And every morning I'm really choosing to come back to myself. Every night I give myself grace for the ways that I'm still learning. I do catch myself some days just wishing the process would hurry up a little bit. Just imagine what life's going to be like in a year's time. And that's something that it really excites me to think about what my life is going to be like and what's possible and all the things that I do want in the future. But, I keep trying to bring myself back because right now, the work that I'm putting in right now is what is the most important for what a year's time is going to look like. I think that it is a real positive, though, that when I do look further down the track, that I do see it being me being in a happier place, me and Bear building a life together, that genuinely exciting me. I think that's all positive signs that I made the right decision, that I am heading in the right direction. Yeah, I'm just trying to also rein it in and focus on the now. But like I said in episode 2, as I am sort of moving towards my highest self, I'm really not looking for perfection. I'm really trying to just stay focused as much as I can on the now and really be present above everything else. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, just
right
being
now.
present and just being happy. It's like when you ask a kid, what do you want to be when you get older? Why can't we just say we just want to be happy? We just want to be happy.
Oh my God, yeah. And honestly, it probably, this time away, because obviously I've come down to stay with you and I've been at Mum and Dad's, I've been out to Garuga, and I am really just taking a second to take in the moments of just being happy. To be honest, recently I've been thinking about, because I have spent a lot of time at your house, I've literally been here for a month. I've been spending so much precious time with Ailua that I didn't get to have early in her life. I didn't get to have this time with her really early on because I was working and then I was pregnant.
And lived away.
For a whole we lived away, obviously. I was in Brisbane and then I was pregnant, so I wasn't really doing that much travel anyway. So I feel like I missed the whole first year of her life, to be honest. That makes me so sad, but I feel like I'm getting that time back now with her. And just the moments that her and I share together, dancing to Frozen or...
She literally loves Auntie T.
I just adore
even this
her
morning,
so
there was a cute moment that I just shifted my eyes in the lounge. She was with me, she gave me a big cuddle and she was feeding, and then she wanted to go have a little dance, and then she just went and sat in Auntie T's arms, and they just
Oh my God, I just love how safe she feels with me.
It was really sweet. And in that moment, it was this is Ailua's second mum right here. She just feels so safe in your arms.
Absolutely, it was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for providing that for her.
Absolutely, likewise.
And likewise as well of me with Bear. I get to spend so much time now with Bear that I've also missed out on obviously being away from one another, living in different states.
Yeah, that's so tough. But all the little moments in between have just been beautiful. There was this moment yesterday when I think you were getting lunch or something, but we were watching, I think I had Frozen on and we were dancing that, but I had Ailua on one knee and Bear on the other, so I'm holding them and we're singing the song. And I sung something to Ailua and I gave her a kiss on the cheek. And she sung something to Bear and gave her a kiss on the cheek. And it was just my heart just melted. And I was like, you are just the cutest. Stop.
Even at night, actually, when I've been putting her down, in her cot. She puts herself to sleep now, but I'll feed her and we'll just be together for a bit, spend some time before I put her in a cot. And I put her in a cot and I said, "Good night, baby, I love you." And then she goes, "Good night, mummy. Good night, daddy. Good night, baby. Good night, auntie." Like everyone that's in her household, plus Zalu and Luna, she doesn't forget them. She goes, "Good night, Zaza. Good night, Luna."
Stop.
And she's just so sweet and she just has so much love to share. So yeah, I'm not surprised at her doing little beautiful gestures like that.
It's been so nice. And kids really do bring you back to the moment.
They do.
They really force you to be with them. They're just such beautiful gifts.
And speaking of the power of being witnessed in love, of course, from our babies, but I want to change it up a bit to mine and Joseph's of just one thing that I didn't expect when I started on my healing journey was how powerful it was and is to be witnessed.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like fully witnessed by Joseph, my husband, and having someone who just fully sees you in your mess, in your magic, your shadow, your softness, and still just stays.
Yeah.
For me, that's just super healing in itself. And I feel like he's that person, and this is why I always rave on him about him so bloody much. But you know, you're going to hear a lot about him, probably every episode. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh, he
even when
it.
He annoys the shit out of me.
No, he's great.
But yeah, he truly does deserve the recognition because he has been my anchor through a lot of my chaos, and he's my calm in the storm. And there were moments I couldn't hold myself where he completely held me and not trying to fix me. He's really good at that. He just listens and just there to stand right beside me. And I think I've shared things with him that I've never said out loud before, and he knows the layers of me, and he has never made me feel like I'm too much. And I can talk so deeply with him, and he also wasn't a deep person at the start, but I like unraveled the layers. And yeah, he loves talking deep now, and he loves me asking him deep questions, and we just like generate this beautiful discussion. And that kind of love, that's the kind of love or witnessing that is medicine too, and has been medicine for me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I just wanted to slot that in there because I think that has been a really big part of how I am healing my inner child. So baby, again, if you're listening, whenever you have time, I know you'll make the time. You are MVP. But yeah, I couldn't imagine myself riding these waves without you, and thank you for choosing me. Thank you for sticking by me. Thank you for being baby girl's daddy. I love you so much.
Love you too, brother. And I think when I think about being witnessed in love, I really feel that with you, Kirsten. And I feel that among my three best friends. Shout out to Kelsey, Renee, and Tash. Mwah! I love you, girls. Faces like you and my girlfriends. You guys really see me. You guys really see me for me.
Yeah.
And not just in my highs, but more importantly in my lows, mid-breakdown when I'm really questioning my worth. You don't flinch or judge or try and fix the situation or me. You guys will just simply stand beside me and remind me that I'm not alone, which I think is so powerful, and that makes me truly feel witnessed in love. And it's in those real raw, soul deep ways that only, you know, sisterhood can offer in so many ways. And this season for me, it's not about being chosen, it's about being known by myself. I really do know that that's possible because I feel so deeply and beautifully known by the women who really love me, you, my girlfriends, in my becoming.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And shout out to those sisters too. Thank you for loving my sissy the way you do and holding space for her the way she needs. And yeah, you just know. So I think that's really beautiful, and I feel like our healing journey changes everything. It changes how we speak, it changes how we touch, how we parent, and this healing work isn't just for us. Again, it's for our babies. Even you making this hard decision now, T, it's so much for Bear.
Yep.
And like you've already stated, how you want her to witness you as a mother and just simply be a happy one. That's above everything else. And with Ailua, I'm already doing things differently.
Yep.
For example, in situations of her falling over the other day or accidentally hurting herself, I'm asking how she's feeling. Not just saying, oh, jump up, you'll be right. Like I know we're trying to shift it and not let them cry it out. But if they need to, they need to. And also what I found is apologising when I'm in the wrong with her too.
That's huge. Modelling.
But yeah,
the
exactly.
example.
Just modelling that and just saying, sorry, mummy didn't mean to do that or accidentally did this, and just letting her hear that too, because I'm letting her see me as a human and as a whole, and not perfectly, but intentionally.
Yep.
We aren't just healing our old wounds, we're unlearning old beliefs too. And there's even comments in my past that I've heard, and I want to become more conscious when communicating to Ailua. I just feel like it's about remembering that softness is strength and crying is a power and boundaries are love, and I get to choose what's mine to keep. And I just hope and wish for my baby and future babies to just feel safe and feel like they're enough. Be soft and speak to me and be seen enough to fully be themselves.
Yes.
And yeah, this is the ride. It's hard times, but so beautiful. I feel like the Tarpanis have consciously and intentionally created the life we want to live and how we want to operate on our terms. And I feel like that's gone good so far. But yeah, I feel like we're just living the dream and just showing our baby what is possible and how we are setting ourselves up for the future, which is super important and not perfect, I know, but if I can give her and my future babies what I didn't get, for me, that's the real healing. Like, that is the ride, baby.
That is the ride of a lifetime.
We're singing so much in this.
Why?
We're singers now. We've listened to Frozen a few times.
When I think about breaking cycles for our kids, like I said earlier, Bear, she really gave me the strength to step away from this relationship. And when she gets older and we have more conversations about this, I really hope that she can see the power in choosing yourself. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't leave because I gave up on love. I left because I believe Bear deserves to grow up surrounded by the kind of love that I'm learning to give to myself. I'm proud knowing that she'll never have to recover from what I refuse to pass down to her. And I just feel like children, they don't need a perfect parent. They just need a present and a healed one.
That's so beautiful and so true. So true. And yeah, I completely agree, sis. And I think even to switch it up from that to cycles that we are wanting to continue, that were created from so many positive times and memories of our inner child, and how she was so extremely loved by our beautiful parents.
Yes.
I think could be really nice too to share with our listeners. And
absolutely.
yeah, this was where I do remember vividly of our parents making the time to take us kids to like concerts and Disney on Ice, or the Wiggles.
Yep.
And this had just played out recently, actually, when Joseph and I took Ailua to the Wiggles concert. And oh my God, just to see the pure joy on Ailua's face, it was just so beautiful. And I just felt like I was just looking at my inner child. This was you, and this is how much joy your parents like had intentionally brought you to, like just bring you to something like this. And yeah, it just brought up all the feelings of just purity and innocence and joy, and seeing my daughter just enjoy herself so much with the biggest smile on her face. Literally,
the video
was the whole concert time. It was just such like a full circle special moment, reminding me of precious times that I did also get, because I know it's so easy to talk about the negative and be like, this happened to me, but there's also so many beautiful moments, of course, that make our inner child do feel so safe.
That's it. And our parents were also, like you said, so incredible with creating memorable experiences for us.
Yeah.
And making sure we're always around family and occasions, and
That was important. It was always important to do that. Yes.
Yeah. And it is, you're so right. It's so important to really acknowledge that as well, alongside the other stuff. And, you know, and I think even in the moments when I was told to, Tanisha, be quiet.
Too loud.
It wasn't like go in the room and lock yourself and don't say a word. It wasn't like that at all. It was just like, okay, Tanisha, let's
wrap it up.
Drop it. The notches need to be knocked down. But it wasn't all the time. And there really was space for me to be so incredibly loud and silly and adventurous and cheeky and all those things, and really not have to worry about the weight of the world. I feel like I'm so grateful for our parents and you as well, that I didn't have to grow up too fast. I really didn't. I feel like I was able to really experience my childhood in its entirety. And really hold on to that innocence. We had so much love in our household. You guys seen it. The last episode and the episode before that. And there was so much safety. There was so much safety in our home as well.
There really was. Yeah. I think let's talk about some of our takeaways as we do wrap up. And for me, some of those takeaways were, if you're on this journey of healing and unlearning and loving your inner child back to life, please know that you're not alone. And we do invite you to check in on her or him. What does she need or he need today? And maybe it's just a moment of gentleness. Know that you're not behind, you're not broken, you're just becoming. And as you ride the waves of your own healing journey, remember, you are not just breaking cycles, you are building something brand new. And let that sink in, because something that has always been done a certain way doesn't necessarily make it right. And it's up to you. You have the opportunity to choose
the authority,
again.
The responsibility.
And how powerful is that when you have the opportunity and responsibility to take control of your life?
That's it.
And how you essentially would like to live it. What about you, sis? What would you
I think for me, some takeaways as of late have really been that leaving is not failure, that it's freedom, and self-respect is really the foundation of motherhood. Healing isn't quiet, it echoes through generations. Love, it starts right here. It starts with me in my own body, my own choices, and in my own truth. And I do really feel like in so many ways we are both our ancestors' wildest healing, honestly.
That leads us into the disclaimer too, which I think we should mention here. Is that this podcast is presented to you solely for informational, educational and entertainment purposes. Tanisha and I are not here as your therapist, and this podcast does not constitute the advice of a professional coach, physician or other qualified professionals, nor does it constitute medical, legal or financial advice. So please consult with a professional for specific advice tailored to your situation.
All right, now it's time for the Inner Ride segment. As you would know by now, for the listeners that have been here before, this segment is an invitation to slow down and deep dive. We want you to tune in to your inner dialogue, meet yourself with radical honesty and an open heart, and let that inner conversation guide your growth. So what is the question this week, Thursday?
The question this week is... Side note to our listeners, we may have had a little sneak peek at this question.
No, we did. We wanted to be prepared for this one because we know the question. We come up with it. This is our podcast.
But we did. We had a look.
We want to read this out really intentionally of what our answers are.
We do.
Because it was such a powerful question that we were like, whoa.
And then when we started writing, we're like,
whoa. That was all right. Was that like on key?
No. Stop. Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay, back to it. If you could sit down and have a conversation with your younger self, what would you say? You do it first, T.
Woo, me? No, okay. Oh
Like
my
a
God.
bit-
I'd
like
be
a
like,
bit.
babe, I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. Oh, little T. Don't. That makes me so emotional. I would take her hand gently in mine. I would look into her eyes, the same eyes that have seen so much already. And I would say to her, you don't need to earn love by being perfect. You already are enough just as you are. Even when you don't have it all figured out, even when you're unsure, and even when you're tired of being strong, I know that you're carrying so much, the pressure to succeed, the need to be the girl who achieves, the weight of expectations from family and coaches and the world. But I want you to know something. One day, you're going to be free. Free from the need to prove yourself. Free from the noise of people who don't really see you. Free from the belief that love must be tolerated or that your voice is too much. You're going to grow into a woman who chooses herself. You'll walk away from what hurts, even when it's hard. You'll become a mama of the most beautiful little girl who will mirror your strength, your softness, and your soul. You'll break patterns you didn't even have the language for yet. You'll shake the shame. You'll move through the guilt. You'll reclaim your story, your body, and your joy. So keep going. Hold on to your fire. Stay tender, even when life tries to harden you. And remember this, you're never too much. You were just never in the right rooms. But you're building those rooms now for Bear and for yourself. And I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of her too. I'm so proud of
Love you.
T and little T.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful.
Right. What would you say to little girls?
Okay. I know, little curse, bless her soul.
I know, I love her.
Okay, my conversation would be, hi, baby girl. I know you're carrying a lot, more than people realize. You're learning to survive in a world that doesn't always feel safe. When your softness sometimes feels like a weakness, but I promise you it's your greatest strength. I want you to know that you're not too emotional, you're not too sensitive, you're not too stubborn.
Yes, yes. For the people in the back, Tanisha.
You're not too much. You feel deeply because you see deeply. That's your gift. There will be moments when it all feels like too much, the pressure, the expectations, the weight of being strong, when you really just want to be held. But I need you to know you will grow into a woman who creates safety for herself and others. You will break cycles. You will choose peace over perfection. You will learn that control isn't the same as power. True power comes from letting go, from trusting yourself, from softening. And you'll stop apologizing for who you are. You are not here to shrink, to please or play small. You are here to ride the waves, even the wild ones, and you'll do it with grace, with fire and heart.
I love it.
You are here to be seen. Your story matters, your voice matters, you matter. And one day, you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive. You rose, you healed, you loved, you led. And how proud your ancestors would be of you. And you made that little girl so damn proud.
I love it! I love it! That was so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Such a powerful exercise.
Yeah, to speak out loud. Guys, please go
Do it.
away
Do
and
it.
yeah, write a few words. Just sit down and think about if I was sitting across from my younger self, what would I tell her? What would I let her know?
What does she want to
What does
hear?
she need to hear right now? Honestly, this episode has just been like a, like a
Big
just
time.
just a nice exhale, and it's been so powerful and freeing as well. And I'm so grateful to be sitting here beside you and us having this space for one another, and
we
for
get
our,
to do this together.
babies to listen back to this one day. It's so special.
Yeah, I feel like this episode has been a bit of a heavy episode, and we shared some juicy, heavy parts.
Juicy.
Very proud of you, but yeah, I think it would only make sense actually to close out with a little mini meditation. So if you had enough of our voices, see you later, see you next time. But if you want to stay around and
with
just
us,
literally a couple of words of just like a mini meditation, I'm just going to read out. And before we do that, I do just want to take this opportunity to again say thank you so much to our beautiful sponsors at GROUNDUP. We are so appreciative of your support of the ride. We're just so grateful. We're so grateful.
We are.
Okay.
Let's
So,
meditate.
If you're still with us, Rider community,
I need to
please
put my feet on the ground.
Yeah, ground your feet
Ground yourself.
into the earth and just close down your eyes. And just take a few breaths, deep breaths of inhaling and exhaling. And as you do the last big breath, give yourself a cuddle. Wrap your arms right around yourself. Just feeling the love and kindness through that cuddle for your inner child, for the inner you, that little 7-year-old you. She is so loved. She is so grateful for where you are right now. Coming home to yourself. You always feel so good after doing that.
I love that.
And there's your mini version of meditation. Sister moment.
We ride together.
We die together.
Sisters for life. Peace.
Oh, I'm so hungry. Mama does it, but she's so good at it.
Stopping.
Yep.